I'm glad you picked up. Hey, how you doing? It's been a minute. I haven't called y'all in a while, so I'm happy you picked up. All my Clovers are up in here. Hey, Clovers, how y'all doing? And all my haters from Chloe is up in here too. Good, let's have a conversation for you too. All right, first of all, before we get to this call deep and deep, I want to make sure I give a congratulations to my girl, Chloe. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. In Pieces is out now. Please go stream. Please go support. You know, this is like family to me. So, bitch, I have to give my girl her 10s. You know I had to come and talk to my tight ass army and my Clovers to see how we feel about this album. Now, I was at the album release party with my girl, Chloe, and we had a wonderful time. She looked gorgeous of being around all those talented people that helped her make this album. And all of my Parkwood family was there. It was beautiful. It was a wonderful time. So I know the album. So this won't be a reaction because I already know the album. I know the album probably a little bit more than y'all know the album. So So I already know the album. I already have my opinions. I already know what I want to say. But I want to talk to y'all because the internet has been interesting lately. So I'm hopping on this Skype call to just really get into the minds of one. I don't understand what this hate is about Chloe. I don't know what it is. Why Chloe Bailey is on the topic of discussion when it comes to, you know, artistry and how, you know, something didn't connect with the audience and how much hate she gets from the internet of just really much existing and making music. It's actually quite interesting. She don't be a nobody mess, but she just creates music and stuff and people feel like they have something to say about it. So let's talk about it, girl. This is the time. So the album dropped this past weekend. And on March 31st, alongside my girl, Melanie Martinez, if you want to sit down and talk about her, let me know, because I love Melanie Martinez, girl. I think Tyler dropped a deluxe version of Call Me If You Get Lost, the estate sale, which is, chef's kiss gorgeous. So Chloe had a lot of, I would say, counterparts out on the same day. Now, I feel like this, and let me just be completely honest, because this is family, so I can speak from a family point of view, right? I think that I can understand how some people may feel like they didn't even know the album was out, or how they didn't understand what happened with how we get here so fast. No shade. I think the aiding criticism, I should say, why there's so much hate, you know, because I want to separate the Chloe, you know, the person and her actual work. Let's separate those two, because I don't know how you feel about her as a person, but her as her work, I'm only talking about that, right? I don't understand why people are rude to her. I get it because you don't understand her. You may feel like, you know, she's extra, which, you know, in my mind, like I said it before, we need somebody extra like that. I'm sorry, but I need my girls to be extra. I need my girls to be over the top. I need my girls to be in their zhuzh and to be confident. Because that's one thing Chloe has openly talked about, being uncomfortable of having separation anxiety from Halle and you know, not feeling confident in her own vocal ability, like, and her tonality of her music. That's a big thing, and that's a big thing to admit, by the way. And I feel like the internet has taken that vulnerability and tried to use it against her. But, however, right? On top of all of that, there is some people in the corners of the internet that do have valid points, and I want to address those points today. As far as what happened to the rollout. And you know a bitch like me loves a rollout, girl. And I do feel like Columbia dropped the ball on this one. I do. I you know, these are my girls at Sony. I love y'all dearly, but I have to call a spade a spade. I feel this project was rushed. I do feel like it was rushed to be put out. And I don't feel like my girl, because she put so much, let me tell you something. And this is from a behind the scenes tea, okay? Chloe has put so much work into this album, has reworked this album. The very first album would have been a bop too, no shade, but she wasn't there no more. So she made this album In Pieces. Self-titled would have ate, don't get me wrong, but In Pieces is where she's at. And she's grown, honestly, so much as an artist with her artistry and In Pieces. So I do appreciate that. But I do feel like it's out of Chloe's control. Yep. I feel like this instance is out of Chloe's control. In the sense of, I feel like Columbia just didn't push it. I don't know if they didn't give Parkwood a promotional budget or anything like that, but I do feel like nothing was pushed. I didn't see any billboards. I didn't see no late night interviews. She did that interview with Lotto. Okay. And then I think she did a couple other radio interviews and stuff like that, but I don't feel like Columbia was like, bitch, I need billboards, we need ad placements, we need commercials, we need a full body. I feel like she dropped the announcement in January, late January, top of February, and the album was coming out in March. That was way too quick. We got people that come out, you know, with a lead single in February and announce the album in March, but it don't come out till like August, like, or July or June. You know what I mean? Like, it's usually like a 3-month gap where you can feel, you know, have time to, you know, tweak and also get hit singles, you know, until the album drops. Which brings us to my next point. There were no hit singles this time around. There were no hit singles besides the one with Chris Brown, which everybody don't like because Chris Brown's for obvious reasons why people don't like, you know. I don't know why Chloe got a lot of backlash from that, but then again, I can also see why Chloe got a lot of backlash from the Chris Brown joint. And I don't even think, can I be honest? I don't even think it was because of Chris Brown. I think it did have something to do with Chris Brown because of who he is as a person. I do think that is a factor, but I don't think that was the whole reason. I think why people were kind of pissed was because the collaboration with Chris Brown felt more manufactured than like an authentic situation. It gave very much, all right, this would be sickening. We need this for the album. This is going to be something to get the streams up. That collaboration, that feature is going to be the one that takes us there. Opposed to really finding somebody like, who's going to lift this song up? Because no shade, anybody could have sung Chris Brown's part. Just being honest. Anybody could have sung it. The thing is, Chloe is so damn sickening. The vocal agility and the production is so sickening that to get on the track with her, you gotta be sickening. You've gotta be that girl. And I felt like she almost held herself back a little bit on that track, if I being honest, you know. And I think it's one of the stronger songs on the album. That's the gag. And I know people don't like Chris Brown, but you know. But that brings me to my next point, honestly. The collaboration with Chris Brown, like I said, it felt manufactured. It felt like it was for politics. It was for streams. It was for momentum, which, I mean, it's the record industry, so why can't Chloe play the game too? However, I think this brings to my next point where I felt like this album, one of the reasons why I feel like it misses the entire mark is because I don't think Chloe realizes exactly what her target demographic and audience is. I don't know if she knows exactly who she's trying to make this album for. Now, granted, this could be for my ladies that's heartbroken out there or anybody that's heartbroken out there, really. But I do feel like you look at other artists, right, that know their demos. Like, I don't want to use Beyonce because they're in the same group. So let's use like Adele. Adele is not going to come out and make, you know, something that derives too far away from her demo. But the thing about an artist, I guess that's the push and pull of an artist. You have to make general public music, but yet still appeal to the demographic that you have. And that's the push and pull of being a commercial artist, which is why I think that, I mean, that's something clearly Chloe is going for, to be a commercial artist. You have Adele that will make something like I Drink Wine, which is a up-tempo kind of, you know, campier track for her, but it still appeals to the people that love her strong lyricism, you know, instrumentational beats and very stripped down vibe, but yet it appeals to radio enough. Does that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that push and pull that you have to do as a commercial artist. Nicki is really good at doing it where, you know, Nicki will do what she needs to do to pander to the general public, but her core demographic can still see who she is, right? I don't think Chloe, this album doesn't really do that, only because the singles prior to has set up this universe for her already that I don't think she as an artist didn't feel that was her anymore. So the reason why everything feels so blindsided is because I don't think we as an audience either gave Chloe a chance to make that change or that transition to what's working for her. Where are you at in your life right now? What do you really feel? Because to be honest, in pieces, as good as it is, I think the album is good. I don't think it's a bad album. I just don't think that we can't connect with it because we don't know her story. You know what I'm saying? We don't really know what you went through. You know, we can speculate. I don't think that Chloe has let us in as an audience enough in her personal life to understand where's your turmoil coming from. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying she needs to tell us who she dated, who she sucked. That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is giving us glimpse into who you are as a person outside of being Chloe Bailey, the entertainer, the singer, the engineer, the motherfucking producer, the songwriter, the sickening girl. To be a sickening artist, you have to be able to give those vulnerable sides to yourself. I think that the general public has this census of Chloe that she's overly sexual already. And that's one thing that I hate, because I love for her how liberated she is and how much she's finding her voice. And just because I know this girl, I've seen her grow up. So I'm so happy that she's found her footing in what sexually liberates her and feels sickening. But to the general public, it looks like you're just pandering with sex, and this is just who you are. Everything needs to be overly, you know what I mean? Like, what you gonna do with all these humps up in my lumps? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I get that. And I think that because of that overshadow, we haven't had a chance to really see Chloe in whatever turmoil she's going through in her life, which is why Have Mercy worked so well, because we knew that she's sexually liberated. We knew that she's in this new era of being a bad bitch and showing that body and living for her sexual, her aura. So Have Mercy was a perfect track. It literally went with on brand. It went with where she was at. In Pieces came out with Pray It Away, if I'm not mistaken, right? Came out with Pray It Away. And Pray It Away, there's Pray It Away stands out there. My Pray It Away stands, raise your hands. I love you dearly. It's just not my cup of tea. It wasn't but then again, back to that whole, what's your demo? Where were you targeting this audience to? This album, where was the target to, Chloe? Because Pray It Away is not for people. It wasn't for me. So maybe that's why I didn't like it. It wasn't maybe geared towards me. And then after that, the next single was it not the Chris Brown joint? It was something before Chris Brown. What was that song after that? Ooh. It was Pray It Away and How Does It Feel? Right? Yep. So it was only 2 singles? It was 3 singles. It was Pray It Away, How Does It Feel, and In Pieces were the 3 singles. And I think Body Do was technically a single, but we should have had a music video to Body Do. Don't get me started. Let me start with that. Let me just get into that gig really quickly. Body Do should have had a moment. I don't know if the team, my Parkwood family or my Sony family, I don't know who decided, the singles, but I'd like to have a meeting. It wasn't the best selection. If I listen to this album, let me tell you something, okay? If I listen to this album, if I go to the In Pieces album, you got bops on this album like Worried. Where's my Worried stands at? My Worried stands, raise your hand. My Worried stands, Worried should have been because if you didn't want to do the Poppy Locky Poppy Pussy track, if you didn't want to do that because you did it already, fine. But you got tracks on this album that can deliver still without being, so pussy, 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 pussy. You know what I mean? You have Feel Me Cry. You have Lose You. Oh, Cheat Back was another single. I don't like Cheat Back. I like Cheat Back by yourself without Future. Yeah, but Future did a good job though. I think Future did a decent job on that feature. I would say so. But Cheat Back isn't one of my, it just doesn't move me. And that's one of the most consistent things on the whole album, is that I don't feel moved, which is why I'm asking what was the demographic for the audience, because it may not have been for me, so maybe that's why I'm not moved. You know what I'm saying? But I will tell you what does move me. Worried, Heart on My Sleeve, Chloe Bailey, should have been a full single, or not even a full single, a full song. Heart on My Sleeve is maybe number 1 on the album for me. Not even maybe, it is number 1 on the album. It's number 1. The Heart on My Sleeve is a masterpiece, Miss Girl. Who did this with you? Did this all with you? Joshua Bliss and Lyndon J and Josh Taffel. Honey, y'all are sickening. Heart on My Sleeve is sickening. I'm sorry, but that song should have been a full, and that could have been a single. But neither here or there. I think it's the only song I like. I think it's Heart on My Sleeve, Worried, Body Do. I don't mind, it's cute. Lose You. I want to like it. It just hasn't really grabbed me yet. And that's about it. Yeah, that's the only songs I really like. And In Pieces is the title track. It's a really good ballad song. It's a really powerful ballad. I see what you did with there, girl. Pieces is sickening. Good album closer. You ate that, by the way. Yeah, I just don't feel the album in totality doesn't move me. And I think that's the common thing throughout the album. I think I'm looking for the ooh la la, the ooh bitch, ah! And it just doesn't take it there for me. Unfortunately, because Here's the gag, and I want people to stop playing with my bitch Chloe. This is for the haters in the back, okay? Because it's for the haters in the back that try to make it seem like, I told y'all Chloe Bailey music, I just don't like it. You. Moving along. Let me tell you something. This is the same girl that made The Kids Is Alright in the living room. This is the same girl that made Ungodly Hour in the living room. Let me tell you something. My bitch can do it. She's sickening. The bitch can take it there. And let me tell you something. You may not like In Pieces, but don't make it seem like my bitch not sickening. Because her production skills and her vocal agility and her vocal arrangement skills and vocal production skills are sickening. And it's shit on a lot of you girls out there. And I'm just letting and boys, no shade. So let's not act like just because In Pieces isn't maybe her best work does not mean the work before. Check the resume. That's all I'm saying. Check the resume. I'm signed to Beyonce for a reason. Okay. Just for the haters. Because the girls are trying to make it seem like my bitch wasn't sickening. The thing about being a great, legendary entertainer, you're going to have some fumbles. And In Pieces may be a fumble. I hope, Chloe, this doesn't make you feel less than as an artist of the reception of this album, aka the numbers or what the naysayers saying. Because you're so sickening. And I can't stress it enough because this album is still good. I've heard worse. This is a really good album. It's a concrete album at that. It is a solid piece of work. You can say what you want to say about her and feel how you want to feel, but it is a solid piece of work. And no, the promotion was not there. No, the rollout was living on her back because I feel like the label did not do anything. I feel like the sales and almost the rollout was relying on her followership, and that's not cute. She deserved so much more push and deserved so much more time to really put this concept of In Pieces together. I felt like it was rushed, and I just hope that this doesn't make Chloe feel like, you know what, I'm gonna go back in my shell. Because you're so worth it, Chloe. You're so worth it, and you're so human to feel how you felt about making this album. And you put your heart on your sleeve, no pun intended, and gave us what your heart was giving at that time. Now, I say all that to say, I feel like because of those last two projects of The Kids All Alright and even the EP back in the day, I know what you're capable of, okay? And I just felt like I missed that. The unique sound of Chloe Bailey, the weird instrumentation. It is on this album, like on tracks on Heart on My Sleeve, or Told Ya, or Lose You, or Make It Look Easy. There is some musical experimentation on this album in some certain tracks. Do not get me wrong, it's there. However, I like Heart on My Sleeve, which is why it's my favorite. It goes there. Heart on My Sleeve, you thought you knew what this track was gonna be, but you didn't. Ha-ha, turn. You know what I mean? And Ungodly Hour and The Kids Are Alright, those records do that. You thought you knew these songs, but you don't know until you listen to it. And it's like, oh, bitch, this is a bop, okay? Because I felt like what made Chloe and Halle, the band, so special was the fact that they were weird. The sounds were not orthodox. It was not usual. You couldn't just put your finger on it like, that's just R&B. Yeah, that's just pop. Nah, bitch. My girl is giving you all of it. And I think that that's what I was missing on this album. I wish that you trusted your own voice more. I know she came on and talked about how, she felt like she didn't like her tonality of her voice and she, didn't trust herself. This album, I can see that push and pull. I can hear the push and pull because I know how great of an artist you are, that I could hear that maybe there was too many cooks in the kitchen. There was too many people saying you should try this, try that, do that, do this, do that. Instead of Chloe just being like, you know what? No, but I like this. I know it's weird for y'all, but I think it's sickening. You know what I mean? I wish that you would have gave more of that. And if you did, my apologies. I just don't feel like I feel it through the album because I felt you before in music. I felt you grinding in that living room. And I know you made this album in your living room too, and some of it at least. But I felt the experimentalness that you were doing in the last projects appeals to this one. And I think it could boil down to the separation anxiety she had from her sister. That very much could have been something. That very much could have been why, maybe trying to get other opinions from everybody else, like, hey, do you like this, do you like this, That very much could be why. So, there's a lot of ways to look at this, but people being nasty on the internet or trying to drag her for her sales or her streams or who she is as a person, I think is uncalled for, because she is a very, very one of the greatest artists of our generation in my mind. I really do think she is. And I mean, I could be biased because that's my girl and her team is my people. So I could be biased. But I know good music when I hear good music. And I know when somebody maybe didn't put maybe the album just wasn't everything they wanted it to be quite yet. Because I do feel like the label woke up one day and was like, okay, we putting this out this day. And if you don't want to put it out this day, then I'll tell you, we put this album out this day. And the reason why I feel like that, even down to not just the music, just also the rollout. If you're going to give me in pieces, I like theatrical. Give me, y'all got money at Columbia, girl. I don't know if y'all didn't give my girl a big budget to make the promotional stuff, but there's the black background and like, standing in one spot. It's nice. It's aesthetically pleasing for one good time, but not the whole rollout. I wish it was like, because she said the album cover was about the porcelain doll. Then give me something porcelain. Like, I want her face to crack in one of the damn promos or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, she's sitting there, heart on my sleeve, when it go, so happy now. And like, bitch, or she just it reverses and get back. Like, I don't know. Like, she could have been a doll on a goddamn, like, put my heart on my sleeve. And then, bitch, she, like, girl, like, or like, give me, ooh, bitch. I love making up a goddamn concept, girl. Somebody they walk into a toy store, and the toy store is called Pieces. You walk in, and so like a little girl is shopping or something. Walk in, and she looks at, and Chloe's like the main doll on display, girl. Like, the new Chloe doll is out or something like that. And one of the all the dolls look perfect except for this one doll, and it's broken up in pieces. And the little girl says, I want that one. And the store is like, the clerk is like, no, you don't need this one. It's broken in pieces. And she's like, so am I. Like, just something like, but you see what I'm going with this? Like, I don't know. I wish it was something like that. That's album. That's rollout. That's built the universe for me. Like, I wanted to be in the universe of In Pieces. And I felt like the promo stuff and the album, the release, the cover, like nothing really, like, wow, you ate that. But, it's her first album. She's a new artist. Yes, she's been doing it with her sister for a while, but she's new to this by herself. And so we got to give her a little bit of grace. Give her some grace. Give her some time. And like I gave you my favorite tracks, and I want to know your favorite tracks in the comments below. But that's all I had to say about this album. I give it a bop. I do give this album a bop, though. Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, I'm not doing bop or flop, but I do give this album a bop. And it's not a certified bop, but it definitely is a bop because I do like I did say like 3 songs. Worried is my number 1. I'm sorry, Worried is my number 2. Heart on My Sleeve is my number 1. And number 3 would be probably Make It Look Easy. Yeah, I know y'all probably like, you don't like Told Ya by Missy? No. No. I've been trying to make myself like Told Ya. But something about it just don't bring it out of me. I feel like maybe I like the ending of Told Ya, though. The ending of Told Ya is sickening. But I don't like it altogether. I just felt like it could have been nastier. You know what I mean? Like, because it was there. It was right there. But like I said about the whole album, it just didn't. Ooh. I feel like I'm fisting. But yes, I need the album to fist me. Yes. Girl, yes. That's what I wanted. And I know Chloe can do that. So Chloe's going to go on tour. Hope you guys do catch her on tour and get to see and experience this music in person. And once again, I think this album is a grower, so maybe these songs will grow on me over time. But as of right now, I just feel like I'm not in love with the entire album together, but I do love some songs. I do get the story of the whole entire album, which is why I give it a bop, because I do see her vision, I do see her story. But I do think it could have been a stronger album, for sure, absolutely. But I think she needed more time to execute the entire plan of it. You know what I'm saying? And the single choices just was not it. The single choices just was not it. The album had better hits to me than the singles. Now that the album's out, I'm like, the singles could have been just album songs, and I got some singles for you. But Body Do should have definitely been on the song. Should have came out the day the album came out with a video that was sickening, like Hype Williams sickening, girl. With my brother Full Out Cortland is doing the choreo. But here we are. But y'all can stop being rude to my bitch though. Y'all can stop that. The haters can shut up. Okay, just if you don't like it, that's fine. But just you don't have to be nasty, Miss Pitchfork. You saw that Pitchfork review, girl? That was nasty. And this by a black girl. Like, how can you be so nasty? Like, I understand, like, criticism, and but you ain't gotta be rude and spicy. It's still somebody's art. Like, it's still somebody's hard-earned work that they put into it, regardless of how you feel. I just don't think you need to be nasty about it, girl. Okay. All right, Tyler, this call is probably longer than it needs to be, but please let me know in the comments below, Clovers, what's your favorite song? What do you love about the album? Do you give it a bop? Do you give it a flop? But please keep it nice. Chloe deserves all the, like I said, the grace and the patience that she put into this album, in her mind and her heart. So at the end of the day, she's still an artist and she's still sensitive, and I want this to be a safe space for her and a safe space in the comments. So I love you guys for picking up as always, and I will catch y'all in the next call. Bye, Army.